whatsoever. Well, we are going to head west, a long way west, down into Wales, to Llanelli, where Gareth Beer is on the line. Gareth is a Llanelli resident. I was down there a couple of weeks ago to see what was going on outside the hotel, which was planned to be taken over by migrants. Gareth, a very good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on talkTV. Great to see you there. Yeah, look, excellent. So listen, it's a couple of weeks since I was down there. What's the latest state of play at the hotel? I gather it's been to court and all sorts.
That's right. It's been to the High Court in London. The High Court awarded an injunction against the protest, where they basically put an access point of 12 foot by 12 foot to enable cars and lorries, etc., to come back and forth. To be honest, it did cause a lull with the protesters, where they thought, what's going to happen next? But as you'll hopefully see later on, there's been no lull. That was strictly temporary. And the protesters, after 10 weeks of protesting, are absolutely still out in force.
So it's been 10 weeks now, did you say, of protests?
10 weeks, and there's 4 weeks. People have been here for 4 weeks, sleeping overnight in makeshift tents and a big marquee that you actually saw when you were here.
That's right, I did. Absolutely remarkable. So they've got some access now. I mean, it's extraordinary, isn't it? I mean, and all credit to the protesters for this. So it went to the High Court, and they said there's got to be a 12-foot access. So what's happened? You've got security people arrived. Has any furniture arrived, or any migrants arrived, Gareth?
That's right. You know, as soon as they awarded the injunction, literally within hours, there was 3 security guards dropped off. I believe they're from Essex. If they're very highly paid, and they've been patrolling the building. There's also been a delivery yesterday, we believe, of beds. There was 3 big vans unmarked, so they weren't marked to belong to anyone. And incidentally, because it's very narrow access, one of the vans the van was bumped. Also, there was an attempted delivery of dehumidifiers, but as soon as the delivery company got wind of what was going on, they decided to do a complete reverse ferret, and they didn't deliver the dehumidifiers in the end. So that's a good bit of news.
Right, I'm with you. So there's sort of logistic stuff going on. I can see behind you there the access to the hotel. There's lots of protesters. I can see that. I recall exactly the spot. So people are still camping out overnight. So obviously that message is spreading, as you say, to delivery companies. And what's the feeling locally, Gareth? Because as you were explaining to me, some 100 people locally lost their jobs many weeks ago.
That's right. That's right. And I was out and about the other day, and these people, you know, well-paid jobs, and they've been basically thrown on the dole. And you know, local people have lost their jobs. And Llanelli, Saucepan, this part of the world is not happy about it.
I can understand that entirely. And obviously the hotel itself is sort of one of the great hotels in the area, used for weddings. Yeah. You know, for leisure and the like, and a great place to go. So, you know, obviously all of that has disappeared. How are people coping without that?
Well, like I said, when the injunction was brought, people went down, but people are still not happy. They're not giving up. The fight's not over. They're going to stay to the end. You know, within the law, nobody's breaking any laws. The people, you know, enabling people to come back and forth. It's peaceful. The police have been up here. They've just seen this huge crowd here. And do you know what? They turned around and they went back to where they came from. So there's no trouble here. It's peaceful. And, you know, we're going to stay here till the end, I think.
That's remarkable. And as you say, it's peaceful, getting on with the police. They were there actually when I was there. It was completely respectful and peaceful. And what's the feeling, just whilst I've got you, Gareth? We heard, obviously, this week about the situation where you've now got fraudulent claims being written, being put forward by lawyers, no less, knowing that they were fraudulent, on behalf of fake asylum seekers, creating tales of torture and woe and harassment and slavery, when actually they are economic migrants who've come from a safe country. How do people in Llanelli locally feel about that when they hear of this absolute abuse going on from sort of the intelligentsia?
Yeah, well, you know, the problem a lot of people have around here is the uncertainty. No one's explained anything to them. You know, they've just been told this iconic hotel that was 4-star with copper baths is being changed into an asylum centre, processor centre, whatever you want to call it today. And what gets people is the uncertainty. They're not being talked to and told what's happening in any clear fashion. They're just being told, oh, get used to it, get on with it. But worse than that, they've been asked to pay. You know, this is all being funded by us, the taxpayer, the beleaguered taxpayer.
It is indeed, in so many different ways, and all of the cost of that is being funded by the taxpayer. And when you've got these fake, fraudulent claims being made by lawyers, then you've got many thousands, it looks like, of additional claims being accepted to the cost of the taxpayer.
That's right. And, you know, selected people are furnished, people in the saucepan group are just not happy about it.
And you represent millions and millions of people, Gareth, up and down the country. Thank you so much for joining me this morning on talkTV. That's Gareth Beer, a resident of Llanelli, outside the hotel, the Stradi Park, which is due to become a migrant hotel, but the residents blocked access because of the nature of the legal ownership of the access, and essentially the owners had to go to the High Court in London in order to get a 12-foot access established, and that will run and we will keep abreast of that. I think many people are supporting that peaceful protest.